It took almost a year, but Jared Isaacman has been confirmed by the Senate as the new administrator of NASA. We talked just a few moments ago, and we began our conversation with his somewhat circuitous route to the head of NASA. Administrator Isaacman, you were nominated, withdrawn, renominated, and confirmed. What did you learn from that process, and what was lost in all that time?
Well, I appreciate the question. It turned out I had a lot of opportunities to speak with senators. I had 2 hearings, and what I learned is that everybody loves NASA. I mean, you saw it on full display in my hearings. Everyone's excited about NASA and its extraordinary mission to unlock the secrets of the universe. So it's been a great process, a very interesting one. And I'll tell you, my first day on the job, here I am at the Oval Office where the president signs probably the most important national space policy since the Kennedy era, recommitting us to the moon, building a lunar base. I couldn't be happier to work with an extraordinary team at the agency.
2028, United States astronauts back on the moon. Is that aspirational or a guarantee?
Oh, I'm looking to pull those timelines in. You know, the president says we got to return American astronauts by 2028, but we're just months away from sending American astronauts around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century. We're going to do everything we can to pull in those timelines so when American astronauts do return to the moon under President Trump's term, we've already got infrastructure there. We're already working on building our lunar base. And at the same time, the national space policy calls for us to be making investments in next-generation propulsion, building nuclear spaceships. So President Trump is already setting up for the next giant leap as we look beyond the moon to Mars and beyond.
Speaking of that leap, it's my understanding, Mr. Administrator, the idea about returning to the moon, ice, water, hydrogen, and using it as a springboard propulsively to Mars. Do I have that about right?
Well, I think that's certainly one of the reasons to go back to the moon is to realize some of its resources, in addition to its scientific and its economic potential. You know, you have helium-3 that's on the lunar surface, which can create a more efficient fusion reaction, could be the future of energy here back on Earth. You know, sources of energy have been greatly important to our foreign policy for more than a century. So ensuring we get back to the moon, set up our infrastructure, realize those economic advantages, because the consequence could mean a shift in the balance of power here on Earth. I also think it's about fulfilling a promise for more than 35 years that presidents have said we're going to return to the moon and chart a course for Mars. But really, it was only under President Trump in his first term that he returned American spaceflight capability to the United States. We spent a decade paying the Russians to send our astronauts to space until President Trump. He kicked off the Artemis program, and now he's taking it a step further with this national space policy, again, committing us back to the moon, setting up the infrastructure, and then going beyond.
Is the moon big enough for the United States and China, or just the United States?
Well, it's a pretty big moon, but I would say that there are parts of it that are of great interest to us, that do have access to sunlight, that do have ice on it. You know, the president certainly can appreciate a good real estate transaction. That's prime real estate on the moon. We're going to want to get there, start the development of our lunar base. So I would say that's a pretty great interest. But there's an awful lot to learn on the moon, and it's something that we should be working on as we develop our deep space capabilities, working a little bit in parallel as we think about what comes next.
Well, you know what I'm driving at there, Mr. Administrator. It's a race against China. It's a national security concern. Is that a place of potential future cooperation, or are we always going to regard the moon and our activities there as ours, and China better back off if it doesn't get there before us?
Well, we are faced with a great competition, which can be a good thing. You know, competition is a great way to concentrate our resources on the needle movers. It brings out the best in us. It forces very interesting technological development that can have applications here on Earth. We do not do this alone. We go with our allies. You have dozens of countries around the world that have signed the Artemis Accords. Many of their space agencies are contributing to the technology that enable us to do it. So I think healthy competition with the Chinese is a good thing. We just don't want to lose.
Understood. What role will SpaceX or the private sector play in accelerating these timelines to get to the moon before 2028?
So already you have Blue Origin and SpaceX that are under contract to build us lunar landers. And they're also working very closely with NASA, pioneering rapid reusability of heavy lift launch vehicles. You've seen that on display in Texas, where SpaceX has caught their Starship with the actual launch pad. And just a couple months ago, we saw Blue Origin catch their reusable heavy lift launch vehicle out on their drone ship. This is a capability that's vital for national security. I mean, when you can have heavy reusable launch vehicles, you can send payload, you can send cargo, you can send humans, not just to the moon, but to Mars and beyond. So it's pretty vital for national security and also all of our scientific endeavors. But I would also say it's not a new development. In the 1960s, NASA did not go at it alone. We had companies like Boeing and McDonnell Douglas, that were building as contractors alongside NASA. Many of them are still here today, and we have some new ones like SpaceX. The country is certainly far better off by having organizations like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and all the other commercial providers that are contributing to this grand endeavor.
Brand new NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman, thank you for your time, and I invite you to continue the conversation because we are relentlessly interested and curious about the future of space exploration. So please come back.
Will do. Thank you very much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.